While tigers look soft and cuddly, they are also killing machines. In the wild, the most dangerous tiger in the world lived in the Himalayas. About 100 years ago, a Bengal tigress known as the man-eater of Champawat terrorized villages across India and Nepal. In total, she claimed 436 victims. This stands as the record for most humans killed by one tiger. Gruesome, but impressive. Hey, it sounds awful, but let's hear this wild queen out. Loss of habitat and subsequent loss of prey might have caused the tiger to shift her taste towards people. Thanks to a gunshot blast to the face suffered during a previous botched attempt to kill her, she also had damaged canine teeth that made it hard to defend herself against other tigers and capture her usual prey. But something had to be done. Bounties were put on the tiger's head. Eventually, famed big cat hunter Jim Corbett was called in to help. In 1907, Corbett and 300 very loud villagers spooked the man-eater of Champawat out of her hiding place in a ravine. This allowed Corbett to aim and fire 3 shots. He kept the hide as a trophy. Our next attack needs no introduction. In 2003, entertainer Roy Horn of the infamous magic duo Siegfried and Roy had Manticore the white tiger turn on him in front of a live audience. Their routine Vegas show went horrifically wrong when he came between Manticore and the unsuspecting crowd. In an escalating series of mishaps, the tiger clamped down on Roy's neck and dragged him off stage. Experts think Manticore's predatory instincts had taken over and he was taking Roy somewhere quieter to deliver a final death blow. Blood coated the stage, but despite the physical trauma and needing 4 people to pull Manticore off him, he survived. Siegfried, along with Roy, now paralyzed down his left side as a result of his injuries, even performed with the tiger again in 2009. Talk about forgiveness. Because domesticated tigers are raised around humans, you might think they seem calmer and relatively safe. But captive tigers are no lap cats. In July 2020, a Siberian tiger kept in a Zurich zoo mauled a zookeeper to death in front of a group of visitors. Even in the face of tragedy, the zoo's management team decided against euthanizing the tiger. They ruled that the zookeeper was at fault for provoking the tiger in its habitat. These are literal horror stories, but humans do more harm to tigers than they do to us. Poaching, habitat loss, and deforestation have caused the population of wild tigers to diminish to less than 6,000. Regardless, if you ever find yourself face-to-face with a tiger, what should you do to survive? First of all, do not run. You won't win. A tiger can reach 64 kilometers per hour. I doubt you can run that fast. However, as scared as you might be, don't pee your pants. You might laugh, but peeing can be threatening to a tiger. To them, it seems like you're marking your territory, even if you're just absolutely terrified. Stay calm and maintain eye contact with the cat. Make yourself as big and scary as possible so the tiger feels scared instead. Another strategy would be to climb a tree. Despite their agility, tigers aren't great climbers. Eventually, even a tiger will tire and move on to easier prey. Hippos are pretty cute, with their rotund bodies, short stubby legs, and sly smirks. Aww. But if you happen upon one, beware. They're one of the most fearsome animals in the world. Hippos may seem harmless, but they're far from it. In Africa, hippos kill around 500 people a year, making them twice as deadly as lions. They have a bite force of up to 12,600 kilopascals. A hippo could sever a person in 2 as easily as we can snap a chocolate bar. So what makes these seemingly gentle giants so deadly? What do they eat? And why is their poop so destructive? The hippopotamus is the second largest land animal on Earth, following the elephant. But surprisingly, they're more closely related to whales than they are to elephants. Male hippos measure about 3.5 meters long and 1.5 meters tall, and they can weigh up to 3,200 kilograms. That's as heavy as 3 small cars. And even at such an enormous size, they're pretty fast, running at speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour. These big animals also have big bites. Do you know that a hippopotamus can open its mouth 180 degrees? Their giant pink maws are filled with huge ivory tusks that can grow as big as 51 centimeters. You'd think that with mouths and teeth that big, they'd be man-eaters. But they're herbivores, feeding mostly on grass. So if all they eat is grass, why do they need those huge tusks and 180-degree mouths? To fight other hippos, of course. Hippos are extremely aggressive and territorial, which makes them dangerous to humans. Many hippo attacks and human deaths are caused by people entering hippos' territories, hunting them, or otherwise annoying them.
Well, look at this little fella. Hello there.
And while they won't eat you, they will take you out, especially if you aggravate them. So if you haven't figured it out already, it's best to steer clear of hippos. Unfortunately, the notorious Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar did not heed this advice. He famously kept hippos, giraffes, elephants, and other exotic animals on his estate in northwestern Colombia. When he was killed in 1993, the Colombian government seized all his assets. Most of his animals were transferred to zoos and aquariums, but his 4 hippos got into Colombia's waterways and multiplied. Good job, Pablo. Between 40 and 60 of their descendants currently live in Colombia, and they occasionally trample crops and charge at humans. Even worse, the hippos are contaminating Colombia's waterways with their toxic feces. Their poop creates algae blooms that reduce the oxygen available to fish and are threatening many native species. And although hippos are extremely dangerous to humans, we are much more deadly to them. Hippos are a threatened species. They used to live throughout all of sub-Saharan Africa, but now they are largely confined to protected areas in East African countries. And hundreds of hippos are shot each year to minimize human-wildlife conflicts, despite the fact that ditches or low fences easily deter them. Humans also kill them for their fat and their ivory tusks, which are in high demand. Even though they're big and mean, we don't want hippos to become extinct. And if you want to meet one in person, you can visit the Cincinnati Zoo and safely say hello to Fiona. Hello, Fiona.
Who's a cute little hippo?
Opening their mouths 180 degrees and taking toxic dumps is what hippos do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures. From The Hobbit to Game of Thrones, dragons have long been a part of our lore. But some dragons don't live in fairy tales. They live on an island in Indonesia, and though they don't breathe fire, they're just as deadly as their mythical counterparts. Say hello to my little friend. Or rather, my huge, venomous friend. This is the mighty Komodo dragon. It's the largest, heaviest, and most deadly lizard in the world. So how big do they get? What makes them so deadly? And how do they hunt prey 5 times their size? Dun dun dun! Komodo dragons are indigenous to the Indonesian archipelago, which consists of about 17,000 islands. But you can only find these dragons on Komodo, Rinca, Gili Motong, and Gili Dasami, 4 islands in the Komodo National Park. They can thrive in a tropical savanna forest or beach climate and seldom explore too far beyond where they hatched. When fully grown, these reptilian beasts weigh up to 136 kilograms and grow as long as 3 meters. It's easy to see why early European explorers mistook them for crocodiles, but they're actually a type of monitor lizard. Although they aren't just any old monitor lizard, Komodo dragons are one of a kind because of their enormous size and their deadly venom. Don't piss these guys off. For decades, scientists suspected that the Komodo dragon's bite was deadly because of the 50 strains of bacteria in its saliva. This was challenged in 2009 by biochemist and microbiologist Brian Fry of the University of Queensland. He proposed that Komodo dragons have glands in their jaws that produce a toxin that lowers blood pressure, and it causes extreme hemorrhaging as the venom prevents the prey's blood from clotting. The lizard's serrated teeth create gaping wounds in their prey, often causing the animal to bleed out. And these dragons don't mind if their victims don't die right away. With their highly attuned forked tongues and sensory organs, Komodos can track their prey for days, and they can detect carrion from up to 10 kilometers away. Komodo dragons also have keen vision and can see up to 300 meters. And while they are sprinters that can run up to 20 kilometers per hour, they prefer to hunt by stealth, waiting for hours to ambush prey that crosses their path. When it comes to eating, dragons aren't picky. They're not only scavengers and hunters, but also cannibals, eating smaller dragons when necessary. Because of their sharp senses and reputation as opportunistic eaters, local communities bury their dead below the standard 1.8 meters, trying to keep these so-called grave robbers from feasting on families dearly departed. These ancient reptiles can eat up to 80% of their body weight in a single meal. That's like a 68-kilogram person eating 48 porterhouse steaks in one sitting. I mean, I like eating a lot, but that's a bit excessive. Psst, I've done it. Speaking of steak, Komodo dragons will sometimes hunt water buffalo, which are 5 times the lizard size at over 450 kilograms. They take down this large prey by using their own size to knock them over. Then they use their vicious teeth to bite and shred their victims. Though Komodos could easily take down a human, they rarely do. While attacks on humans do happen, they are infrequent. Usually, they happen to an unwary National Park guard or an unlucky villager who's in the wrong place at the wrong time. And as easily as they can eat all that meat, they can purge it. When escaping predators, like humans or other Komodo dragons, they will vomit all their stomach's contents. It lightens their load, making them faster. And also probably grosses them out. That makes perfect sense to me. I can't imagine sprinting with 48 steaks in my stomach. Again, I've done it. Just like mythical dragons, these creatures strike fear into the hearts of many. But herpetologists, zoologists, and reptile enthusiasts see them differently. They are, after all, real-life dragons, and that's pretty dang cool. Being the world's largest lizard and having a venomous bite is what Komodo dragons do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures. There's a jellyfish so lethal, it can cause you to have a heart attack minutes after being stung. But that's not all. Most jellyfish species just float around in ocean currents waiting for their next meal. But not the box jellyfish. Find out their nifty trick that sets them apart from other jellyfish. Box jellyfish are not to be messed with. They are the most lethal jellyfish in the world. And just one of them has enough venom to kill 60 people in 2 minutes. Box jellyfish are equipped with over 60 tentacles, and each with up to 5,000 stinging cells. The cells hold venom-containing capsules called nematocysts. This venom contains multiple toxins, but as of yet, experts aren't sure which one makes them so deadly. Proteins in the venom called porins can destroy red blood cells. This is one theory of why it's so lethal. Another study suggests that there are 2 distinct proteins that specifically attack heart cells. What we do know is the venom causes Irukandji syndrome. Symptoms include a lot of pain, nausea, and high blood pressure. As a result, it can lead to bleeding in the brain and, you guessed it, death. These are as deadly as they get. So what places should you avoid so you don't end up
Swimming with the fishes.
or should I say,
Jellyfishes.
there are about 50 species of box jellyfish in the world, found in oceans around Indonesia, the Philippines, and Malaysia. They're also common in the coastal waters of northern Australia. They aren't deep ocean dwellers like other jellyfish. They prefer their home to be warm and shallow. And because of that, they can wash up on beaches, increasing the chances of humans being stung. It's difficult to give an accurate number of deaths caused by box jellyfish each year, but it's estimated that globally, 50 to 100 deaths are the result of stings. These numbers are almost impossible to track since many cases go unreported. For instance, in Timor-Leste, a country in Southeast Asia, villagers don't take victims to the hospital. Instead, they just bury them under a tree. But enough of how deadly they are. There are some amazing traits box jellyfish have over other species of jellyfish you may not have known. Instead of moving by ocean currents, you may be surprised to know that they can actually swim, which kind of makes them scarier. Researchers believe they actively hunt for prey like shrimp and small fish. And if you're going hunting, you're going to need some way of looking for them, right? Unlike other species, box jellyfish have eyes. And not just 2 eyes, oh no! They have 24 simple and complex eyes that help them see. Then, the cherry on top. They can be rather large. The biggest is the Australian box jellyfish with its body that can measure 30 centimeters in diameter and tentacles up to 3 meters long. With all these traits added up, we're talking about a real-life sea monster here. But they're not the only creature to be careful of when taking a dip. Watch out for the Portuguese man-o'-war. They might be jellyfish imposters, but their stings can be just as painful. They are one of the ocean's deadliest animals and can hunt for their prey. That's what box jellyfish do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures. While this buffalo may seem mild-mannered, just minding its own business while grazing the savannah, it's anything but. What you're actually looking at here is one of the deadliest animals in Africa. These Cape buffalo behemoths are responsible for killing around 200 people in Africa every year, most of whom are hunters. So maybe they had that coming. Imagine this 1-ton creature headed straight for you. Or worse, an entire herd. Thanks, but I'd rather not. So what provokes a Cape buffalo attack? What makes them so dangerous? And what's the only thing you can do to stop one? Nicknamed the Black Death, these beasts can grow up to 1.8 meters tall and run at speeds of up to 56 kilometers per hour. They're the largest of all the buffalo subspecies. Cape buffalo are part of Africa's Big Five. That is, the continent's 5 fiercest and most sought-after animals. Their size, speed, and aggressive behavior can turn them into killing machines. But this doesn't mean they're always on the prowl for their next victim. Since they're herbivores, they don't focus on prey like lions and leopards do. If they attack, it's usually an act of self-defense. In other words, you don't want to piss off a Cape buffalo. They're extremely ill-tempered, and when it comes to females, they won't hesitate to charge if they or their calf feels threatened. They've even been known to target vehicles that get too close, sometimes out of anger and sometimes out of fear, or while being chased by apex predators like lions. But even the mighty lion is no match for this fearsome bovine. Herds of Cape buffalo have taken down entire prides, goring or trampling every lion in their sight as they steamroll their way through. Since they're very protective of the young, weak, or injured members of the herd, they will sometimes make the first move and chase down predators that dare cross their path. In situations like these, a Cape buffalo will even continue to attack when injured, sometimes fighting until its very last breath. In addition to their daunting size and quickness, it's their incredibly strong horns that make them such efficient killers. Draped over the sides of their heads like, well, a cape, these are built for fighting. It takes about 10 years for their horns to become fully formed. As they grow, the adolescent buffaloes will use them to play and fight for seniority. The bull with the biggest horns, or you might say the horniest, some of which can grow up to 1 meter across, is usually the dominant male among the herd. They're used as both weapons and shields. Unfortunately, there's not much a person can do once an angry Cape buffalo has trained its eye on you. They are nearly unstoppable. In some parts of the body, their hide is up to 5 centimeters thick, which helps protect them from chomping fangs or the horns of other confrontational Cape buffalo. The only surefire way to save yourself is to shoot it in the head. Everywhere else is protected by that all-natural armor. So my advice to you on how to not get killed? Don't hunt them. Because a threatened Cape buffalo is a dangerous Cape buffalo. This is the world's deadliest snake. And its venom can kill you in 3 hours. So, what are your chances of survival if you are bitten? What does it do right before it attacks? And could you outrun it? Mind your step as we take on the black mamba. This snake is the true champion of the snakes when it comes to how lethal they are. If its bite is left untreated, the fatality rate is a frightful 100%. You heard me right, dead, you're done. And in the black mamba's natural habitats of South Africa and Swaziland, this is obviously a problem the people have had to deal with for generations. To compound the issue, there is little to no access to antivenom in countries like Swaziland. That's a major problem, considering how fast-acting its venom is. In as little as 30 minutes, you'll start feeling its effects. It'll start with you losing the ability to talk. Without antivenom, you could be comatose in 60 minutes and dead in 3 to 16 hours. Why is it so lethal, you ask? Just 15 to 20 milligrams of venom is a lethal dose, but scarily, the black mamba can inject up to 14 times that amount in one attack. So if you find yourself in the unfortunate scenario of staring one down, remember these tips. A black mamba usually avoids confrontation and will only become aggressive if it feels threatened. Let's be clear, I'm not saying it's a good idea to pet it, that would be stupid. The reason why it's getting all antsy with you could simply be because you're blocking its path. Also, look out for its defense display. It will raise its head off the ground, flattening its neck to appear bigger and start flicking its tongue. You'll also see its mouth open, ready to strike. And if you look closely, again not suggesting that you do this in real life, you'll discover how the black mamba got its name. The inside of its mouth is black and bluish in color. Your best option is to slowly back away and hope it will too. It's likely it's just defending itself and will want to move on just as much as you do. And what if it doesn't back down? There are myths about how fast a black mamba can move, even outpacing a horse. Sure, they don't just have a lightning-fast strike, they can also slither at incredible speeds. But we need to bust that myth of it keeping up with a horse, although that would be a sight to see. The average horse can gallop between 40 to 48 kilometers per hour. In comparison, black mambas can move at about 11 kilometers per hour, but they have been observed going over 19 kilometers per hour. They're not even close to moving as fast as a horse, but it's not bad at all, considering that at their slowest, a black mamba could still outpace a human. But don't worry, the chances of you being chased by one are slim. They only prey on small mammals like mice and squirrels. If you are in the unlikely situation of having to outrun a black mamba, try not to stumble or fall over. No pressure. And if their deadly venom wasn't enough, they can reach up to 4 meters in length. Maybe not as big as anacondas, so if you want to see just how big they can get, why not check out our episode on them? See how we did that there? They bite with some of the deadliest venom on the planet and can move faster than you. That's what black mambas do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.